Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Leilui Nishmat Simi Mirosi Ruspas Mordechai. Welcome, welcome. We have a lot of choshev guests here. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
Busha Shapiro.
Rebusha Shapiro, Shalom Aleichem. And you are from South Africa? Moti Adar, Shalom Aleichem. Who else is from South Africa? Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
Jonathan Altman.
Jonathan Altman, Shalom Aleichem. And you? You don't count. No, just kidding. But you're a guest, right? Wow. What's your name again? Moshe lives is from. Hopefully this is not your first, not your last. Your second. Okay, Givaldik. Your sons do the daf, no?
Yeah.
Givaldik, send them regards.
The one that managed
The hall over there. Givaldik. Who else do we have?
He's live.
There's one more. Oh, the guy making a coffee. What's your name with the casket? Penny Hecht from South Africa. Wow. What's your name? Viazoi? I get in here. Yiddi. Oh, Shalom Aleichem. From where? Who?
Can't see. Wonderful maybe.
It's Borough Park. Borough Park. So like,
That's a very Borough Park.
what, you just came from your Shelaima this morning? Very nice. Givaldik. Oh, we have more. It's like, okay, forget the emails today. What's your name? Viazoi? From where? Montreal. You came together with him? Very nice. And you? You're Kasriel, you're the bus driver guy from the Montreal. I know you. What are you? You're on Zoom. You drive the bus on Zoom, no? You zoom when you drive. Rev Kasriel's here. Wow. Didn't you just make a siyum, like one of your first siyum or something? On Baba Basra, was that your first siyum? Baba Mitzi you did. Okay. Baba Basra, Givaldik. Okay, very proud of you. Rev Kasriel, he drives the one of the Muncie Trail, right? It's Muncie Trail. And he, so in between jobs, he sits and he learns. Learns Torah on the bus. Givaldik. Let's see, a couple of emails here. Oh, somebody just so happened to put a picture of Reb Kasriel on the bus. Good morning, Rebbe. As I'm doing my morning route, look at this. You could see that the picture was taken from within a yellow bus, a school bus in New York. And thinking of my beloved video that I'm going to watch, suddenly I saw this car in front of me on Lee Avenue in Williamsburg. This guy's all decked out with the magnets. He even has an old one from, 5 years ago, the 8-minute DAF one that's on the ceiling over here still. I have no idea who it is, but I feel like we are classmates. Thank you for the beautiful daily shiurim, Isaac Wurzberger. Now, Rabbi said this is not made up. This happened yesterday. How do I know it happened yesterday? From what the guy says, and check this out. Somebody's driving on the Belt Parkway. If you don't know the Belt Parkway, you're from England. So the Belt Parkway, the South Africans. It's like a 6-lane highway that has constant traffic. And here he is on the Belt Parkway. He sees a guy with a MDY magnet. Check this out. It's Givaldik.
While driving on the Belt Parkway.
Is the magnet?
MDY.
I love it.
And who do you think it is? Yankee Mazel Tov to Rebelli.
Mazel Tov.
If you listen to Shir, you know.
Not yet.
Had Einikel.
Not yet. Can't listen to him. Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.
It's Givaldik. Mazel Tov to Rav Nachman Seltzer had a granddaughter. Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, yeah, Lanu, Lecha Yosef, I Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, yeah, Lanu. Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, yeah, Lanu, Lecha Yosef, yeah, Lanu, Lecha Yosef. Abby, you saw that? She's stuck in another piece. Mazel tov. So we have two granddaughters, mamash like a day apart. Unbelievable. Well, you remind me the birthday, the whole thing. The Kiddush. I'm reading this email because of where he sent it from. While doing Shnai Mikra V'Chatargam today, Aaron had to hit the ground for Kinam because the ground covered the dead Mitzri that Moshe killed. Exactly what today's daf is talking about, covering the cat. Thank you so much for the Yomi learning. Send a pearl. Kingston, Pennsylvania. Rabbi said Kingston, Pennsylvania. So where's Kingston, Pennsylvania? Oh, it's in Yehopitzville somewhere. That's where it is. Ashi. Yeah. Where is he?
It's not that funny.
That's funny, but I slept.
Okay. It's Beseder. Good. I'm writing this anonymously because my friends and family and I share Baruch Hashem, unaware of my internal situation. An individual was born and raised in a dysfunctional home, was brutally abused and neglected physically, emotionally, on a steady basis as a minor. As a result, from entering school until my first marriage at age 20, I was expelled from many schools. I've been in 16 different settings, including schools, private tutoring. I'm close to 50 now, and continuity is anything has always been my biggest challenge. I started a million times, wanted to desire stability. Kitzer, although Hashem had mercy on me, in recently the past few years I've grown by leaps and bounds. I'm still struggling with continuity. However, rebellion gave me a new meaning in life. Even if I don't have continuity, I'm not a failure. If I didn't listen to the shir for a few days or a week, I would normally fall off the bandwagon and internalize that I'm a failure. Belly says don't go back and catch up. Instead, do today's daf. This keeps me connected to the Torah like never before. I'm not consistent, but I still feel part of the family. I'm not always in, and that's okay. Thank you, Rebelli, for that. These are the words of your inconsistent Talmud who derive spirit, meaning, and belonging through your outstanding Zikr Rabbit. Shkoyach. Attaches my obligatory photo of me learning on the plane. While I travel at least 5 to 10 times a year, I don't think I've ever spent a minute learning on a plane. I started Sanhedrin with you, and for the first time in my life, I'm enjoying Gemara. As a Lubavitcher, I gave up on the Shloisha Prokim of the Rambam, so now I'm learning one parak and the daf. Here's the crazy part. Since I started, I feel like I'm a much better person as a father, husband, and friend. I can't tell you why. Shkoyach Noach Horowitz. All right, Rabbi Sai, we'll jump into the sponsors. Shimi Braun is parnassa Yoim, l'chavid my new anicle, and Gershon Ben Moshe's chasana, and the shidduch of Binyamin Kar. Binyamin Kar is the one who gave us that hall in the hall in Borough Park. And here we go. Refuah Shelaima, the Masechta, 5 sponsors of the Masechta, $9,000 each. Refuah Shelaima for Yosef Chaim Shmuel ben Alte Nechama from his grateful family. The Masechta sponsor for Hatzlocha Bruchnis ובגשמיות, the Masechta, Larry Cohn, in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim, who started learning Daf Yomi at age 70 and continued for 32 years until he was nifter. For the unity of the Jewish people, how many people are on Zoom today? Glenn Esterson, with love and gratitude from Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for enriching my life with Torah. We have Pennsylvania, North Carolina. Shimi Braun is also on. Givaldik. Shimi, that book you gave me as a gift about Reb Meir Shapiros, I found a beautiful piece there, and I'm going to use it today in today's daf. He says it on today's daf, so I'm going to use it today. I saw it in the book, so yishkoyach. Zechus parnassa berevach for Baruch Tzvi Nisim Ben Shoshana. I jumped. You can't do that. Ein mukdem u'mucher. The parnassa chodesh lina nishmas zechariah ben Moshe lina nishmas chai bas Yosef. Parnassa chodesh is zechus for our children, tremendous parnassa. Parnassa chodesh lina nishmas Yava bat Simcha Refuah Shelaima Yisrael Yaakov ben Malka. Zechus parnassa berevach for Baruch Tzvi Nisim Ben Shoshana Leah. Kidnovations LLC in honor of Uncle Elchanan Fishel. Zechus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga and a shidduch for Rebbitzen Stefansky. And thank you to Rebbitzen Stefansky. Parnassa Shavua, Yitzi Hollander in honor of our oldest grandson, Shua's upsharing. May he grow in Torah and Midas. Amen. Parnassa Yoim, as a schos, that the procedure for Yeruchim Chaim Ben Nechama Shira should go smoothly from your uncle, aunt, and cousins from Lakewood. Parnassa Yoim, Mordechai Sapaznik, Mazel Tov to Rebelli and Rebbitzen Stefansky on the birth of the new granddaughter, Shkoyach. Parnassa Yoim, L'schos, Sruli Pesach, who got me and so many people to get hooked on the daf, Hatzlacha. I love this one. Parnassa Yoim, Golden Dove Alert. Mazel Tov to the Stefansky and Jacob families on the very first Yutan Aponovich award, born 5 years Those who don't know, my daughter lives in Utah, in Park City, Utah. Born 5 years after the first golden dove, which is Emes. So I'll remind Olam, exactly 5 years ago, not exactly, but within a few weeks or so, we had our very, very first grandchild, who was a grandson, and I came running back to Shir. I saw my grandson for literally 10 seconds. It was already late to Shir. It was like, let's say, it was 6:20 or whatever, and Shir starts at 7:10. So I said hello. I gave him back to my wife or whatever it is, and my daughter was unconscious. She lost consciousness, and the doctors are flying in and out. They didn't know what's going on, if she's going to make it or not. And one of the craziest things I've ever done, maybe the dumbest things, is I left her over there, and I went to give shir. I said, I have to go give shir. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I can't help her. What I could do is I could learn Torah. And I come here, and everybody's like this. Everybody's happy, like they're singing, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if she's going to make it, and she wasn't conscious yet. And I started the shir, and during shir, I got the thing that she came out and said, but I look back and I'm like, you're Meshuggah. Okay, but there's golden dove alert 5 years ago, mamish, and that 5 years, and since then, this is the third enical from that daughter. So 5 years brings a lot of change. Parnassa Chodesh was zechus for Rebbe and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. And Parnassa Chodesh was the art of the month in honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work that they do. Rabbi Sai, another daf of Agadita. We're holding 5 lines from the bottom. Yechiel Moshe Lamed Zayin Amud Beis, 5 lines from the bottom. Rabbi Yechiel Moshe Golus mechaperes alakol. Golus is a very, very hard thing. You go to another country, you give everything up, new language, new friends, new shul, new food. Mechaperes alakol. Not just half, like the Gemara said before. Mechaper, half yaveres. Mechaper alakol. So that's what I was saying come to Eretz Yisrael, living in Eretz Yisrael is Golus, but that the Yisurim of moving from one country, going from South Africa to Eretz Yisrael, the Yisurim is mechaper alakol. In addition to all the big mitzvahs that you get of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, there's an element of kapara. We're talking about Yechonyo, Ariri. He shouldn't have any children. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's nishbad, he shouldn't have any children. Nothing. He's from Zerah David, as we're going to see in a second. He's not going to have any kids. But after he went into Golos, he has Benoy, Shaltiel Benoy. He has a son Shaltiel. After HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised he's not going to have any children. So what do you see? Because he went into Golos, HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgave him and gave him children. Asir, what's this lashon? Who's this Asir? That Yechonyo was in a jail cell, but not a jail cell, not like we have today. It was literally a round pit that you could stand in it, you could maybe sit in it, but you can't lay down in it. What happened was that Shaltiel, Sheshosli Kel, it's a lashon of Sheshosli Kel, that Nebuchadnezzar's wife, the queen, asked Nebuchadnezzar to do her a favor and let Yechonyo be with his wife. So they lowered her into the pit. Now, even one person could only stand in there, so certainly 2. Gemiri, says the Gemara, Sheino Isham Saberes Mumad, can't get pregnant standing. V'nisaber Mumad, so there was an element that HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped out the pregnancy. So the poskim are down here. What if a person is married and he says, I know it was mu'umad only, so this is not my baby. My wife is pregnant, it's not my baby. It says in the Gemara, no, it doesn't mean that. It means that 90%, let's take a certain percentage, a very high percentage, that it doesn't happen. You need the help of the Rebbeinu Shalom. Dover Acher, another pshat, Shaltiel shenishal alolosoi kel. Since HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised that he's not going to have children, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kaviyachal had to go ask, when somebody makes a neder, you go to Chachamim, you mat the neder, you need 3 Chachamim. So the Rebbeinu Shalom went to the Malachim Kaviyachal to ask permission to get out of his shvuah. There's a Medrash Rabbah, what I just said, with that they lowered her in, and the Medrash Rabbah continues and says an unbelievable thing, that when she got lowered in, she told her husband, Nida, pierce the Nida. So Yechonyo, who's not a good person, that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu cursed him. Oh, and I forgot to say another Nakuda. He was the only one left from David. If he wouldn't have a child, then there wouldn't be a continuation to David. So what happened was that he did tshuva by him controlling himself. He told her, I'm sorry, nothing doing. It's a one-time thing that they let her in. When's the next time they're going to let her in? He gave that up. And in fact, they let her in again, and that's why he was zechus the children, because he did tshuva. He was mizgaber in such a thing. To be mizgaber in such a situation is a tremendous thing. Zerubbabel, why is he called Zerubbabel? The Gemara is going to say who this is. Nechama ben Chachalio, shenizra beBavel. His mother got pregnant in Babel. Uma Shmoy, Nechama ben Chachalio Shmoy. That's his name. His real name is Nechama ben Chachalio, but his name we call him Zerubbabel. Says the Gemara, Yehuda v'Chizkiya b'nei Rebbi story. The two sons of Rebbi Yehuda and Chizkiya, have Yasef v'Sudatzik Hamei Rebbe. They were standing in front of the Galadar Rebbe, the author of the Mishnah. But they have a Kaham Rebbe Midi, and they were scared. They didn't say a word. Omar Lahu, what do you do when two Talmidim don't want to talk? Give them a little bit to drink. Agburu Chamra Dardiki. Fill them up. Give them a lot, like Agburu, like a lot. A lot of wine. Give them a lot of wine to these kids. So they should open their mouth. Once they got drunk, they started saying, Mashiach is not going to come until the two families, these two families in Klal Yisrael are going to disappear. Who? The Rosh Golos. And who's the Rosh Golos in Eretz Yisrael? The counterpart. Who's the counterpart in Eretz Yisrael? V'nasi Sheberetz Yisrael. That's exactly what I was looking for. V'nasi Sheberetz Yisrael. Who's the Nasi in Eretz Yisrael today? Rebbe. So they tell Rebbe, Mashiach won't come until you die. The two households of Klal Yisrael. What do you do? You're putting thorns in my eyes. Don't worry about it. Yud 10 plus 50 is 70. And also Soid Samach is 60. Vav and Dalet is 10, 70. Nitam b'shivim Moses. Nichlas, it's a Soid. I think what he's saying is, look, they're drunk, don't pay attention. The Mashal says that what Soid was, there was a Soid that he gave them the Soid, the Ibur. Okay. Yishkod is a lashon of to go quickly. Hashem went fast over here. Hashem took the bad and brought it upon Klal Yisrael. Why? Tzaddik Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem is a tzaddik, so he brought it on quickly. That's the Gemara. Mishum the tzaddik Hashem, because Hashem is a tzaddik. Vayishkad Hashem al Rava Yivelenu. What? Fakert. If he wouldn't bring the bad on us, that would be a tremendous thing. The fact that he brought bad on us, he's a tzaddik. Yes. That's also, we say it all the time, over and over and over. What you think is bad is good. We don't know what bad is. We don't know what good is. He brought the bad to us. He brought us the galus. That's good? Yes, it's good. Tzedakah has HaKadosh Baruch Hu im Yisrael. It's mamish tzedakah. Sheigdim galus tzidkiyo. V'oid galus yichani kayemes. He brought the galus of tzidkiyo when the galus of Yichani was still around. The chsiv be'galus yichani hechorish v'hamazgir elef. So the simple meaning of the pasuk is a chorish means a craftsman. Hamazgir means a gatekeeper. Elef 1,000. No, chorish means a deaf mute. The time of the Gemara, a cheresh doesn't mean somebody that can't hear. It means somebody can't speak. We had 1,000 g'dolei olam, g'dolei Torah, 1,000 of them who went into Galus. Now imagine if they stayed in Galus. 1,000 g'dolei Adar went to Bavel, and they died in Bavel. But rest of the Klal Yisrael is in Eretz Yisrael. What would happen to the Torah? It would disappear. Mazgir kivin shesogim ba'halacha. Once they pass in something, shuvim paiskim, nobody could. They say nasa hakol nasim kichershim. Nobody could speak when they speak in Torah. Nobody could say halacha when they say halacha. Shuvim paiskim. Mekama ha'oyu elef. So Baruch Hu made a chesed with Klal Yisrael. He took him out early from Eretz Yisrael. You think it's a bad thing that they went to Galus early? No, he brought them out so they could learn the Torah from these thousand Yidden. It was 11 years difference, the two Galuses, and they were able to still learn Torah even though they were getting older. Ula Amar, what was the big chesed HaKadosh Baruch Hu did? Shehigdim, I said, v'kam ha'yu elef. Ula Amar, shehigdim shtei shonim le'v'noi shantem. Look at the pasuk, famous pasuk. Yisrael banim v'nei banim v'noi shantem ba'aretz v'ishchatem. If you are no good, you'll be mashchis v'noi shantem. So the Gemara darshans, what's v'noi shantem? V'noi shantem is gematria 852. Here we go. 852. If Klal Yisrael, listen to this, if Klal Yisrael would be in Eretz Yisrael for 852 years, it's all over. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets rid of Klal Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did a chesed with Klal Yisrael that he released them out of Eretz Yisrael, so we don't reach the 852, that at the 850 point, they're already gone. So there wouldn't be a V'nishantim. Let me just show you this chart over here real quickly. They left Mitzrayim at the year 2448. That's when they left there in Mitzrayim. They went into Eretz Yisrael 40 years later at 2488. The Beis Hamikdash 2928. And the Galus Bavel was 3338, which is 890 years. We want to get to 850 years. We want to say that there were 850, so very pashut. You have to take off the 40 years of the Midbar. From the time they came to Eretz Yisrael until Galus was 850 years. Because the total of this chart with Yetzias Mitzrayim is 890. Minus 50, minus the 40 years of the thing is 850. So here you see that Klal Yisrael got into Eretz Yisrael at 850, not at 852, and that's the chesed, that's the tzedakah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did with Klal Yisrael. Omer Rabbi Yaakov, Shema Mino, Meheira de Morei Almo, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Maher, because look at the next pasuk. Haydaisi b'chem hayomis hashemayim v'saaretz, ki avoid toveidun Maher. What's Maher? For HaKadosh Baruch Hu Maher, Meheira de Morei Almo, Tamni mo b'chamshim tartin havu. Maher is v'nishantim 852. Lefichach. Torah I got it, the mamish, I got it. Adam Yechidi Nivra. Adam Rishon was born all by himself, without a partner, without any other human being, by himself. Other animals, they were born with partners of this. There's other animals, not a human being. What's the pshat? That we're very concerned about the kaifrim, the minim. They shouldn't say Harber Shuyis b'Shamayim. Look. One Rebbeinu Shalom created this person, another one Chas Shalom created this one. No, there's one Yotzer Ha'adam, that's it. Another pshat is, because if we had two people that started the world, so one is going to have different disposition as the other. One is going to be more of a tzaddik, the other one is going to be a little bit more of a Rasha. And then all the people that came from the Rasha's family are going to say, oh, we didn't have a choice, we didn't have Bechira. Our forefather was a Rasha. We have the genes, the Rasha genes. MMA law, you're going to do bad things. The tzaddik's family, they're going to think they're so great. They're tzaddikim, so they don't have to worry about Averis. They don't have to distance themselves from Averis, says Rashi. We are already predisposed. We have great genes. We don't have to worry about Averis. We also don't have any bchira. We have these Rasha genes. There shouldn't be family feuds. Now even now, nowadays, we were all born from one person, and there's so many fights. Certainly people are going to say, no, this is mine, that's yours. No, we yarshin this, we yarshin that. If now people steal, and Chayim here, you want the difference between a Chamsin and Gazlan, we all know, but just you have it, if it works. Chamsin is somebody that takes forcefully, but he pays for it, and a Gazlan doesn't pay for it. So if we were created from two human beings, huh?
What's the cheshbon? What's the svara?
When there's two, when the world comes from two different sources, then you'll say, my forefather got Yerushalayim, and he says we have it today, right? We're fighting with the Arabs. They say we got this. No, it's ours. No, it's ours. So when it starts, the source starts this. America is Plini's and his blood. No, like this. We all came from the same thing. We all. Nobody's better than the other. Nobody can take anything from the other and claim it was his. I'm just going a little quicker than usual because there's a lot of words here. When a person mints a coin, let's say, takes whatever it is, he takes a softer material and he carves it out and that he pours in the metal. So every single coin is going to look the same exact. We all come from one source, from Adam Rishon. Nevertheless, a nace happened. Every human being looks the same. I'm not a big expert. Doesn't look the same, sorry. Every human being, there's not a single human being in this world that looks like another human being. 9 billion people, we all look different. I don't know, when I look at the birds, they're probably laughing. To me, they all look the same. I don't know. They all look, If I was I don't know, a raven, I wouldn't know how to differentiate between different ravens. I don't know. Maybe they have like different marks. They all sound the same. They fly the same speed. It just looks like everything's the same. But they're probably laughing. The humans look the same. Huh? Yeah, I'm saying the difference. The lions look the same, no? Don't they all look the same? What do you? Yeah, me and Yosef, we look the same. You put us next to our family, they laugh at us. There's not even a resemblance, they say. The pasuk calls a person a chaysam. What's a chaysam? Why is it called a chaysam? Because we are all born differently. But will jump up as a levush, as a piece of clothing. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do this? It's an ace. A person shouldn't see a nice house. How is a woman going to differentiate between husband and husband? They all look the same. I'll ask you a simple question. Think about it for a second. It's going to get you like this for a second. Then if you think about it, you'll have to answer. If everybody looks the same, so why is this man going to want somebody else's wife? She looks exactly like his wife. What's the new? Mayim Gnum. That's not the answer I'm looking for. New next.
It's a good answer, though.
It's a great answer. You know why? Because it's your answer. But anybody have a better answer than that?
I get better than that.
Personality, says Reb Baruch.
No.
The personalities are different. Not Mayim Gnuvin.
No. That's the problem.
They look the same. Ishana doesn't mean the way she looks. Ishana means the way she acts. He likes the way she acts better than this one. That's why. But they're going to look the same. Okay. Tanya. There are three things that human beings have a distinction from their friends. Their voices are very different. That's why we have people in Miami Boys Choir and good chazanim, not such good chazanim, people that think they're good chazanim. There's all sorts of people. Bimara, and the way they look, ubedas, and the way they think. If everybody was just on the right and there'd be no left, it wouldn't be fun. You have to have Bekoil ubemara mishum erva. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give everybody a different voice and a different look? Because that men shouldn't come home at night. The wife should recognize them even at night. How do you recognize somebody when there's zero light? In the time of the Gemara, no lights at all. And voice. It's all about the voice and the way you look.
That you said.
Huh?
Here's the place for the story that you said about where you came back to the shul and the seat.
Yeah, but I can't say it. Nechama, you just said it a week ago. Ubedas, and there's no time for like real stories here now. Ubedas, listen to this. Check this out. I love it. It's like, where's that picture I was looking for? Oh, we have a Geshmaka picture here for South Africa. It says all the Americans, they hide their keys in the same spot. Like if you think like an American, all you need to do is pick up the rug and get the key. In other words, if I thought exactly like you, I would figure out your password through your phone. You're probably thinking this and this and that, and then Shalom Yisrael. That's what it is. L'mashal, I don't know. When I thought about it, I was laughing to myself. If you have a cleaning lady, you know what I'm talking about. Or sometimes when I'm missing something, I say to myself, if I was a cleaning lady from a certain country, I would probably put my tzitzis right next to the mayonnaise. Let me look over there. You know, I'm looking, like, I go there, and that's where I find, like, you have to think in a certain way. So if you could get into somebody's head, you can figure it out. Torah Rabbanon, Adam Nivra B'erev Shabbos. Adam Rishon was born on Friday afternoon. What's the pshat? Amin, a koifer is going to say, oh, he's born on the first day of creation, so he helped the Rebbitzen Shalom create animals and birds. If a person becomes a balgaiva, say to himself, oh, look at me, I'm so chashuv. This little low mosquito, he's here in this world before you. Who are you, B'chlal? We said, who's the number one killer, the animal with the number one killer is human being. Human being kills the most humans. But l'mais, at the end of the day, it's the mosquito that kills the most humans. He's kadamcha. I had two jokes. And one of these jokes that they're so dumb, but in my mind I was like, wow, this would be a good picture. So I asked Yoshi to make a picture of it. A guy goes to the store. He says, "You have anything to repel mosquitoes?" So he gives him like this powder to repel mosquitoes. Comes back like a week later. He says, "Didn't work. Didn't work." He says, "What do you do?" He said, "I poured the powder everywhere around my house. Nothing." He says, "Shaita, that's not what you do. You catch the mosquito, you flip him over, and you tickle his stomach. Then he starts laughing. So when he laughs, you put the stuff right in his mouth." So the guy's like, "What do you mean?" He says, "If I already catch the mosquito, I just squish him and he dies." He says, "Oh, that's a very good way, and there's another way to do it." So I was just thinking to myself, here, this would be a Mardika picture, has nothing to do with the daf. Check this out. That's that. And then there's another joke. I said, if he's already making a picture of this, Yoshi's Givaldic. I thought it was great. There's another guy. A guy goes to the store, and he buys these balls against pellets, against mosquitoes. Mosquito balls, repellents. So he comes back to the store a week later, says, "I need more," and keeps on coming back. So the guy says, "What's going on with you? What are you doing?" He says, "Not every single time when I throw that ball at the mosquito do I get him." So here's the picture. Nechama. It's a dumb joke, but here he is. He's trying to get the mosquito with the pellets. It's a pellet they put it. It's not approved. You're supposed to put it down and they die from putting it. He's not supposed to throw it at the mosquito. Okay, great. She likes it. He has clapping from Yivaldi. Zog the Gemara. Why did Hakadosh Baruch Hu create Adam Rishon right by Shabbos? So he's born. Oh, Mamshek, a kiss from Hashem. Go right into Shabbos. He shouldn't be hungry. Should be food. Givaldik right into the Suda. I'll give you a mashal. There's a king. Shabana Patrin. He built himself a tremendous castle. V'shichlelon v'hiskin Suda. And right away he made a Suda. And then he brought in the Geshen Emar Chachmas Banza Beis. We're going to say a whole pasuk. We're going to explain all the words. Chotz v'amudei Shiva. Tavcha tivcha. Moscha yena. Af orcha shulchana. Sholchan ariseh tikra. Agape miroi mekaris. What are all these words? Chachmas Banza Beisa. Zumitash HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you look around, I don't care what you look at, every single part of this world has tremendous chachma and a cheshbon. I always like clouds. There's no water in Eretz Yisrael, no water here. Where are you going to get water from? Because Baruch Hu made a system that the water in the ocean evaporates hundreds of miles away and goes up, stays there as a cloud. Yeah, it makes sense. It stays right over there at that level, whatever it is, 10,000 feet. And then it comes right over your field, and then it releases it. It's a chachma. Chatzva amudei shiva. What's the 7 beams? Elu shiva simei bereishis. These are the 7 days of Maaseh Bereishis. As Taisves, chatzva amudei shiva. The shiva yom nivra oil shav pisha b'shishi yom. Everybody knows that shishi yemei bereishis, not shiva. It says Taisves mordek yisayit. Mikol mokem chasim menucha shabbos Shabbos b'menucha. Menucha. Everybody thought until you came to the daf today, that there's 6 days of creation. Hakadosh Baruch Hu needed a little rest. You take a little vacation. No. Vacation is part of the bria. When you sleep at night, it's not, your body's tired. Without the sleep, you die. Sleep is part of the bria. The 7th day is, the menucha is one of the bria's days of creation. It's one of the creations. Huh? Oh, that's something else that you could through Shena you could accomplish, but I'm saying it's part of the day. Tavcha tivcha, moscha yena, afarcha shulchana, elu yam naharetz v'chatzar chayolim. Hakadosh Baruch Hu shechted. He poured the wine. He made a table. In other words, he put all the things that you need: fresh water, the animals' teeth, everything is there. Shulchan arisel tikra ze adam v'chava, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu sent the youngsters, adam v'chava. Agape miroi mikaris. Agape is the height. Rabbi Baruch Chana Rami, it's a contradiction. Ksiv, Agape means very high, other Rishon is very tall. Uksiv al Kisei, he sat on a short chair. But Chil Agape, we're going to explain it on Amud Beis, was B'soif al Kisei. In the beginning he was very tall, very high, and then he went on a chair. Mi Pesi Yosef Heino Chasar Lev Amrloi. Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu, Mi Pito, who persuaded, who convinced Adam Rishon to sin? Isha Amraloi. It's the woman you gave him, the chsiv. Noyef Isha Chasar Lev. She's missing her heart. I read it, I was a little like, there's a few women that watch the shir. Some Rosh Hashiva's wife told me she watches. Last night, so a guy came, so I said this over in the Hebrew, so the guy says, my grandmother's 90 years old, she's a big tzaddikus, and look, and took out his phone and says, I see you sitting in the shir. Kitzer, Chassidisha lady. Yeah, there are a few women, maybe a few. So I don't want them to feel bad. So Reb Shlomo Wolbe says, you're going to love it. He says that a man, typically, he's not emotional. He's a logical creature. He goes with logic. When he uses his emotion, that's oisnam, that's something special, something different. So we call him, he has a heart. He's using his heart. He says a woman is all emotion. So you can't say she's using her heart. She is an emotion. So she doesn't have a heart. Chasar leiv. She doesn't have, that's not what she is. She is emotion. All right. You didn't like it? You didn't like it? Don't say it over to your wife today. So this is what I want to tell you from Rameir Shapiro. I said this in we were Avi and all these guys. We were there in Chachmei Lublin just a few months ago in the basement of Rameir Shapiro. And I said this over there. This Gemara right here. Because Baruch made Adam Rishon from the entire world. He took a little bit from everywhere. Shenemar Golmi Ra'u Einecha Omer Rishai Mishmei Derav Adam Rishon, and he explains it Lamed Ches Amud Beis. Gufa Mebavel. Adam Rishon's body comes from Bavel. V'Roishoy, and his head is from Eretz Yisrael. Ve'Ivarav Mishara Rotzos, and his limbs are from different lands. Agavoisov, his rear Omer Ravacha Ma'akar da Agma, comes from the lower place of the Agam. Says Rameir Shapiro, if you think about it, Torah also, our Gemara that we learn, Rebbe, the author of the Mishnah, comes from where? From Eretz Yisrael. Ravina and Ravashi come from where? From Bavel. Rashi and Tosfos come from where? From France. The Rambam comes from where? Spain and Mitzrayim. The Rashi says, I'm just quoting him, the Rosh comes from Germany. The Marsha in the back of the Gemara comes from Poland. So the Torah is made in a way that it's kibbutz gola, it comes from everywhere. And I'm thinking to myself, MDY, we have 37 countries. We're in 37 countries. Right now we have so many guys from Africa, South Africa. And we have from England, London, Pennsylvania. I'm saying in this room, what we have, in this room. We have from Borough Park, that's Mamash Abriya B'fnei Atzma. You know, in Borough Park, I used to live in Borough Park. When you live in Borough Park, you think that after the train tracks from McDonald and whatever it is out of town. They call you out of town. Everybody behind those doors, these are the border. If you live a little bit out, they call you out of town. You're like a nobody. We don't marry out of town. It's out of town. If some mensch, out of towner, they don't have. And most of the world lives outside of the box. We'll say that, whatever, right? Am I lying? 100%. Not 90. 100%. It's not, even if you live on 57th Street, which is, you're garnished. You have to be within the tracks, not even, right? It's like Flatbush. What? Flatbush, yeah. Flatbush also believes that, okay, as I get this. Weiter. What?
Today's Yortzeit of Balatanya.
Right. Today's Yortzeit of Balatanya. Oh, so I could have said, if the Yortzeit, you know why the Gemara says, you know what the Balatanya says about a mosquito? He says that the mosquito is the only creature that takes in and doesn't put out. And that's what the Gemara is saying over here. Yeah? Zok the Gemara, sponsors. Turning of the Daf, Tavis, Berkovici family. You don't know that, I learned Tanya. I have a Chavrus in Tanya every week. In honor of the MDY Daf champions, I do. Leo Shamshi Shlafrak, Uncle Freddie, and Mr. Gross. The Refuah Shelaima for our fearless leader-in-chief, Chaim Gavriel Ben Siviolano, by the members of the Muncie Fire Department. Citron Films, Strategic Video Production, Yesher Koyach. Where are we holding? The first day of the sixth day of creation, when Adam Rishon was, every day has 12 hours. That day also had 12 hours. The first hour, Kosh Baruch Hu went and gathered the earth. Then he created a form. You have to understand something. The Gemara doesn't tell us things that are not important to us. Telling us something that Amaisa Shahaya, what happened every hour. The Vilna Gaon says that this Gemara has a very big secret over here. And if you understand it, he says, do not tell it to other people. I'm asking you, if you understand it, please tell me the secret. I really want to know what it is. I didn't have the time to sit down and figure it out. But he says, we know that every day of Maaseh Bereshis is 1,000 days of our creation. So we're holding in the sixth day. Says the Gemara that every hour of creation is also corresponds to this world. And Memela, we're in a certain hour now. That's what he says. So there's a side there, whatever it means. You can figure stuff out. You're not allowed to get, I don't know if it's also for me to tell you that there's a secret here. Maybe that's also a problem. But there's a secret in this Gemara. Shnio nasa goylam, shlishis nimtichu evarav, his limbs were stretched, revis nizruko by neshama. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put the neshama into his body. Chamishis amad araglov, the 5th hour he stood on his feet. Shishis karashemois, the 6th hour he called all the names. I'm not sure how many animals and creations there are, but I'm sure it's in the millions, tens of millions, different creatures, cockroaches, and there's probably 10,000 types of beetles. Everyone has a name. Every fish, all the stuff. Shvis nizdav galoi chava. And then he met Chava on the 7th. That's HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him Chava. Shminis on the 8th hour. Alu lemita shnayim. 2 went into bed. V'yordu arba, and 2 came out. In other words, 4 came out. 4 came out. She gave birth to 2 within 1 hour. Let me ask you, Rabbi Sai, who came off the bed at that time? We have Adam and Chava, and who else? Cain and Hevel. Wrong, says Tosfos. Not and. 4. Only 4. Says the little. We do all Tosfosin, especially when they're very, very small. Adam v'chaya v'chava v'kayim v'tiyumasoi, says Tosfos. His twin, Cain and his twin. Aval Hevel noilad boisei pam, says Tosfos. Hevel wasn't born yet. How many twins did Hevel have? 2. He was a triplet. The doors were Shravin, the cousin Zachiv, es Hevel. It's good to know these things. Says the Gemara, cheese established Leilachom and Elon. In the 9th hour, I don't know where we're holding, rabbis. I don't know what hour. No, I don't know what hour of the world we're holding. No, in real life. Now. So, in the 9th hour, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, don't eat from the tree. Asiris Sarach, and in the 10th hour he already sinned. Achadesrei Nidoin, he was already judged. Shteimesrei Nitrad v'halach, in the 12th hour he was removed banished from Gan Eden. Shenemar Odom Bikar Bal Yolin. Yolin means we just had it. You're not allowed to leave a body on a tree overnight. Can't be there anymore. Omar, this famous. I don't know if the Rambam says it, but other Gdolei Olam said that. Maybe they want to explain evolution and why the people found things that are tens of thousands of years old. So they want to say that this is not really the hour that we know. It's the hour. It's a different type of hour. It's much longer in terms of the way we understand time. Okay, there's those who say, "Omar Romi Bar Chama, ein chaya rosh shaledes bo'adam elam kain nidme like a behema." Oh, givaldik video I had here. This is also from South Africa. First of all, you should know here, I don't know if you ever saw this picture, so I'll show it just in case you've never seen it. A lion will not attack a human being unless he thinks you're an animal, unless you look like an animal. I have a givaldik video to show you. If a lion thinks you're an animal, he might attack. Here's a guy, 2 guys are running like a zebra, and they get attacked by lions in real... Meshugoyim, they decided to act like a zebra. Look, they took his head and they ran. They're all excited. They got the guy's head. The South Africans don't know what's flying here. Okay, it's MS. What's going on here? Tell me what's going on in this video. You have no idea. I told you when I was a teenager, I read a book by a woman. In the Hebrew share, I said it's by a man because I thought I would get into trouble. I read a woman. She writes how she figured she could live with the lions and nothing will happen. She jumped into their. She describes how she did it slowly. She approached them. It took a few days. They eventually got used to her, and she spent a lot of time with a family of lions. She went. She saw how they did this. They were very nice to her. She pet them. They protected her. The last page of the book. I'm reading this whole book I'm fascinated. It says, Mom was killed by a lion. Mom's like that. That's the end of the book. And I'm trying to find this book. Whatever. It must be like a famous book. I couldn't find it. It says, it describes, he describes the last page. My mother was killed beyond Pliny by a lion. But anyways, B'derech Klal, seriously, no, maybe it was Nidma that day. It was Nidma Kibehema, and that's why they killed her. The whole time they had a fear.
They were nice to her until that day, though.
Animals have a natural fear of human beings. Azoy is. I'm not saying get out of your Jeep while you're on a safari and take a spatzir, because it's not going to work out very well. Shah b'soif harami simon. Nimshal kebemis nidmu. Omar Rav Yudah Omar Rav. B'shoshu because Hakadosh Baruch Hu liberates us Adam. When Hakadosh Baruch Hu wanted to create man, Adam Rishon, Barak Hasacha Shemalach Hashores. He put together some malachim. Omar Lahem Ritzonchim Nasa Adam Mitzalmenu. And this is a puzzle the Gemara is going to discuss later. It seems like, oh, let's make a human being. But he asked them, what do you think about making Adam? Omar Lefanav, everybody Shelaima Ma myself. Tell us about him. What is he going to be like? So he's going to learn Torah. He's going to have war. He's going to kill people. He's going to do this. Omar Lefanav, everybody Shelaima Ma Inish Kisiskireno, Ubenelam Kisikvikdeno, Sifkideno. What do you need this for? I don't understand 100% what's going on here. He asked for advice, and then he didn't like what he said. He kills them. And then the second pair came. They did the same mistake. They got burnt away. Kashlishis, they got a little smarter. The third pair. What did they gain? It's your world. Okay. So whatever you want to do. He's showing them, this is the generation, Daramabel, very nice, look at this animation that Yoshi did here. It's gewaltige stuff. You have the Daraflaga, Darmabel, they were terrible people. This is like the first time in history that somebody says, I told you so. You know, it's like, oh, I told you not to. What do you want? We warned you. This is what human beings are going to do. I'm going to stay. I'm going to stick with them. When did they say
That's Torah. They use that for kids.
The kids. Yeah. Very good. I'll be with you through everything, through thick and thin. No matter what. Adam Rishon went from one side of the world to the other. So I think the simple pshat is, the first time I read it, I thought it meant around the world, like the whole circumference of the world. I think it means more the diameter. Shenemar lemin hayoyim shebar Elokim Adam al haaretz ulemiktzeh hashamayim v'aktzeh hashamayim, from one end to the other. Even says Sarah Chiniach Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yodei Olav U'Miatoy. Hakadosh Baruch Hu put his hand on him, and I saw a Rashi in the Likudei Rashi. He brings 100 amma. He made him 100 amma. In the back of my Gemara, like you have Likudei Rashi on the side, but there's so much of it. If somebody wants to find it, it's in the back. Shenemar Achor V'Kedim Tzartani. Hakadosh Baruch Hu created, according to Rashi, also in the back talks about this. The Chava was actually attached to Adam Rishon. Hakadosh Baruch Hu created, and that's one pshat he says. The other pshat is that he had like a tail. Okay. So, unbelievable Reb Chaim Shmulevitz. He says over here, and a lot of Achronim also say this, the Gemara is not literal. The Adam Rishon, I don't know the diameter of the world, I forgot to look it up. 30,000 miles wide. So Adam Rishon is 30,000 miles tall. He says, don't take it literally. What it means is that Hakadosh Baruch Hu created Adam Rishon with all the abilities possible. He had everything. He had a lot of koiches. And then Hakadosh Baruch Hu took those koiches away from him. So he says, if so, then we, in our genetic makeup, we have these koiches. And Memela, when it says that Bisya or Basya stuck out her hand, and she grabbed the teva, she grabbed Moshe Rabbeinu. It's not the pshat that her hand actually extended like our kindergarten teacher taught us, 100 feet long, and it pulled. The pshat is she wanted that so bad that she had the ability to grab him. When Yaakov Avinu wanted to remove the stone from the well, it's not that he became very muscular and he was able to. He had that ability in him, that ability of Adam Rishon, that Yechilas, Misoifa Olam Atzoifai. And Memela, every single one of us has crazy abilities that we need to tap into. That if we set our mind to do something, it's possible. Like they say, I heard from Trump. He said a Mordecai line. I want to fix the line a little. He says, in America, The impossible is what we do best. Something like that. What's impossible, we do best. So, not the impossible. That is, what we think is impossible, we think it's impossible to grab that thing over there, that we do best. We could grab it because we have it in us to do. It's not impossible. It's not impossible to go to the moon, Horaya, because we went to the moon. Okay. It's not impossible to build the Verrazano Bridge because we built it. What we thought is impossible, we thought it's not impossible. What we thought is impossible is possible. But anyway, it's a murdik word over here. Everybody has the yechilas to do crazy things. Says the Gemara, my Rebbe Lazar, Adam Rishon min Aretz v'al Rekiah. He was tall as the Rekiah, till the Shemayim. Shenem al min hayoyim asher bar lekim Adam ala Aretz l'knei Shemayim. Kivin shesarach, same exact thing. Once he sinned, he made him shorter, 100 amma. As the Gemara Kosher Kura Dadi. What are we going to do? First pasuk says he's from one side of the world to the other. Check this out. Yosef did a nice thing here. One pasuk says that he's from one side to the other. The other pasuk says that he's up to the Shemayim. Says the Gemara, it's the same exact measurement. Check this out. You take that and you put it over here. It's actually, that's where the Shemayim is. The diameter of the world is where the Shemayim starts. It's one measurement. Adam Rishon used to speak Aramaic. Shenemar v'li mayokru reyecha. Kale. Reyecha is in Aramaic. It means your thoughts, your rayonos, your ideas. Kadosh Baruch Hu showed Adam Rishon every generation. And every generation with the Chachamim, Kivin Shigil Rebbe Akiva. It's interesting how the Gemara chooses Rebbe Akiva. It doesn't say the Dar of David HaMelech, the Dar of Moshe Rabbeinu, the Dar of Rebbe Akiva. Somach b'Torah, he showed him, because he gave David HaMelech. But the Gemara picks that one. Somach b'Torah v'nisasiv misasai. I think, especially in MDY, especially after this guy Yonah came yesterday, telling me that many years didn't open up a Gemara. There's so many people in MDY that there was a point in their life that they said, it's already too late. What I'm going to start? Donnie Fine's father started up Daf Yomi again at the age of 80. Age of 80, just last week, right? In other words, you never give up. We only look forward. Rebbe Akiva didn't say, I'm 40 years old, it's over. It's over when I'm Alte bench, 40. No, at 40 you start. And then what happens when you start at 40? You become Golad Dar, one of the greatest, to the point where Rebbe Akiva was supposed to give it the Torah in a way. He was supposed,
You need a rach.
You need a lot of things. You need to live to 120. You need to have the brain of Rebbe Akiva. You're right, but he's a dogma to us what a person can accomplish and never give up at a later age. You don't say, I'm 40. Nobody should say that. Let's what?
Wasn't the brain of Rebbe Akiva worked out? He was a shepherd till then.
The Gemara says many times, Achibor Rebbe Akiva.
Okay. Many different things, but it's an idea, it's a concept. Omar, v'li mayokru reyecha keil. Right, the same passage we said before of reyecha is in Aramaic. V'amar Rav Yidom Rav. Adam Rishon min haya. Adam Rishon was an apikoros. He wanted to do avodah zara. Shenemar, vayikra Hashem Elokim el Adam, vayomer lo hayeka. Pasuk says, on not the libcha. Where is your heart pointing? So there's a moiridik Rabbeinu Chananel here. You can't leave before you hear this Rabbeinu Chananel because it's super important. So Rabbeinu Chananel, you can look it up. Here it is. He goes the whole thing, and I'm going to jump to the end. And he says, you should know that what it means here doesn't mean that Adam Rishon was a apikoros chas v'shalom. It means that the minim said he was a min. Look, even Adam Rishon is a min. Look, I'll prove it to the pasuk. And look what he says at the end. It's impossible that they said that Adam Rishon was a apikoros. Hapirush osid litin esadin. Osid litin esadin, says Rabbeinu Chananel. If you say that he was apikoros, you're going to give a din, because what the Gemara says is that the whole Gemara is talking about what minim are going to say and how they're going to try to poke holes. What do they call it? The Bible critics or whatever. The Bible critics say, he was apikoros. That's what the Gemara is saying, not that we say. Chas v'shalom. It seems like a little bit, yeah. I'm just throwing in another point there. Other reason, don't go around saying it. I'll come on. He tried to hide his bris milah. There's a bris. As brisi hefar, he annulled the bris. He broke the bris. Rav Nachman, according to Rav Nachman, he brings this also. This is one of the things he doesn't agree with. Rav Nachman koifer bikra. He was a koifer. Ksivacha over bris. By Adam it says over bris. It was awesome. Oz was bris Hashem. They left the covenant, the bris. Hashem Hashem. Not awesome. A person should sit and learn Torah. Yeah, it doesn't say you should do chesed. Have a shakod l'ilmay Torah. And also, you should always know how to answer apikoros when he brings you a pasuk. It's only talking about the apikoros that's a non-Jew. Apikoros Yisrael, Cholchkin the pocket fei. Don't get into a conversation with a guy that used to be from and went off the derech. Like the famous Brisker Rav, that a guy that was a yeshiva bacher went off and came to ask the Brisker Rav a question in Amunah. So the Brisker Rav told him, I have answers for questions. I don't have answers for answers. What you're saying now is just an answer. You're trying to give a teretz of why you went off the derech and you're trying to fa'em for it. I can never answer you that. Because whatever I say, you're going to try to say no. I have answers for good questions. You have a good question, tell me. Anytime a min had a kfir and he brings a pasuk, you should know there's always a pasuk right there that's going to answer it. We have to do this quickly. Nas Adam B'Tzalmeinu is Rabbim. It's a lashon that there's two Rebbeinu Shalom's, so there's a pasuk right away. Vayivir Elikim Adam B'Tzalmoi, singular. Hava Ner Dov and Avlasham Sfasam, it's plural. Vayir Hashem Liris Azir B'Samigdal, singular. Kisham Niglar Elikim seems like plural. Lokela Ayin B'Oisi B'Yam Tzarasi, singular. Kimi Gadol Asheloi Elikim Kroivim Elav, plural. Kashem Elikeinu B'Chol Kareinu Elav, Elav is singular. L'miki Amcha Yisrael Goyachad Baretz Asher Halchu Elikim, plural. Livdais La'ila, singular. Now this one is problematic. Adi Karsvan, Charasvan, whatever it is, thrones. That there's two thrones. How could there be two thrones? So it says Vatik Yoimim Yosef. No, there's only one throne. It says Gemara Hanach Lamali. Why did Akash Baruch Hu say it in such a way that the meaning could have a taina? Oh, look, it seems like there's two. Why? Akash Baruch Hu always asks for advice. I think it's always a good idea. Me personally, in my business, I always ask, even the lowest employees, I'll ask them, what do you think about this paint color? What do you think about this brick? What do you think about this? I haven't, here in MDY, I haven't done a single thing, I don't think, usually, 99% of the time, without asking my good chaverim, the guys that sit over here, and all other people, what do you think? Should we do this? Should we start this program? This, that? You don't always have to listen. You go on Amazon, right? You look at the reviews. Doesn't mean you listen to you take a consensus. Most people say it's murdik. Yeah, of course there's going to be 2-3 people say it's terrible. How do I know this? Because what does Hashem need a malach for? He has to go ask malachim. He knows everything. And he didn't listen to them. Pshat is, he's teaching us derech eretz. This is how a human being acts. You go and you ask people, you ask your friends. Don't be about gaiva and say, oh, I know everything. I'm not going to ask for directions. No. Roll down the window, you ask. Even if your wife is in the car. Oh, so I'll tell you, Kuli, this is a great answer for the psukim. But there's one pasuk we can't explain. Adi Karsvan, remiv, these thrones that you can answer. You asked other thrones, well, what's going on? This is very interesting. Because Baruch made 2 thrones, one for himself and one for David. Says Gemara, Akiva, Yosef is going to share a throne with a human being, another throne. It's like Baruch Hu, no, but one he sits for din and one for tzedakah. Did Akiva agree with this? Tashma, yes, he actually said it over. Just one more line. What are you getting to Agadah? That's not your forte. You're a professional in hard sugis. That's where you belong. Ella, the pshat is, one is a stool. The chair is to sit on. A footstool. Have a wonderful day. A good Shabbos. Mochi Shabbos at 8:30 sharp.